The show starts with the name Claude, a magician so powerful that he was counted among the 10 first-class mages in the entire world, a level so high that people claimed he could even move the stars themselves. And on top of that, he became the youngest professor ever at the Royal Magic Academy at just 17 years old, making him not only a genius but also a central figure in magical education. And yet, despite all that fame and recognition, he suddenly vanished one day without any explanation, leaving behind nothing but rumors and speculation. Meanwhile, far away from all that mystery, we meet our main character, Spya, who is currently standing at the edge of a cliff with complete confidence, declaring that she's about to fly, while her best friend Arya is desperately trying to stop her, warning that she's going to seriously hurt herself as she falls from that height. But Spya, completely ignoring the concern, calls upon the wind as if she truly believes it will carry her into the sky, only for reality to immediately kick in as she runs forward, loses her balance, tumbles down the slope, and crashes hard, ending the moment in the most anticlimactic way possible as Arya bursts into laughter while Spya lies there once again with a bloody nose. Even after that embarrassing failure, Spya refuses to give up, because deep down she has a dream that she refuses to abandon, and that dream is to become a magician. Not just any magician, but one capable of entering the Royal Diana Academy, the most prestigious magic institution in the kingdom, where she hopes to follow in the footsteps of Claude Sirius and eventually reach the level of a first-class mage herself, although Arya, being much more realistic, immediately questions how that's supposed to happen when Spya can't even cast a single spell, pointing out that dreaming big is one thing but actually having the ability to back it up is something else entirely. Still, Spya insists she's working hard, claiming she practices every day even if her methods seem questionable, while Arya, brushing it off, casually brings up the rumors surrounding Claude, mentioning how people say that during the cultist attack on the academy 2 years ago, he abandoned his students and ran away, which instantly strikes a nerve, causing Spya to snap back in defense, refusing to believe that someone she admires could ever be that kind of person, making it clear that no one gets to decide who she looks up to. Realizing she may have gone too far, Arya softens her tone, pulling Spya into a hug and admitting that she's only worried, explaining that at this rate, Spya is almost guaranteed to fail the entrance exam, and without proper guidance or training, she doesn't stand a chance, even suggesting that she should consider hiring a tutor, although that idea quickly falls apart when Spya explains she has no money and too many siblings to support, meaning she has no choice but to rely entirely on herself. Seeing that, Arya offers to help, since she herself is talented, demonstrating her abilities by pulling water from a well and shaping it into a floating heart, which immediately impresses Spya. Although the moment is quickly ruined when Arya jokingly suggests a rather questionable form of payment, causing Spya to reject the offer outright and storm off, deciding that she would rather struggle on her own than deal with that kind of nonsense. Later that day, standing alone on a rooftop, Spya tries once again to push forward, repeating to herself that she can do it as she prepares for another attempt at flying. But just like before, things go wrong almost immediately as her broom snaps in midair, sending her crashing down yet again, leaving her injured and frustrated as she starts to realize that time is running out and she still has no real progress to show for all her efforts, making her situation feel more desperate than ever. And then, right when she's at her lowest point, something completely unexpected happens, as a nearby black cat suddenly speaks, complaining about the noise and telling her to go somewhere else if she's going to keep falling like an idiot, which completely shocks Spya, making her wonder if she's somehow awakened a magical ability to talk to animals, while the cat himself seems just as surprised that she can understand him at all. Before she can fully process what's happening, the cat casually uses magic, launching her into the air with a powerful gust of wind, proving without a doubt that he's no ordinary animal. And after she crashes back down, he warns her not to call him a monster, revealing that he was once a human magician who had been cursed into this form, although he can still use a limited amount of magic despite his current state. Hearing that, Spya immediately drops to her knees and begs him to teach her, explaining that she wants to get into Diana Academy and become a real magician. And when he questions whether she truly understands how difficult that path is, she doubles down on her determination, even going so far as to say she'll do anything he asks if it means learning magic, which catches his attention and makes him consider the situation more seriously. At first, he pretends to be uninterested, acting like there's nothing in it for him. But after hearing her desperation and realizing she's the only person who can understand him, he decides to play along, claiming that he can't ignore someone in need, although his idea of helping doesn't exactly match her expectations, as instead of starting proper training, he drags her all the way to the capital and into a bar, where he tricks her into ordering expensive drinks and proceeds to enjoy himself while she panics over how to pay for everything. After dragging him out of that mess, Spya finally snaps, demanding that he take things seriously, which leads him to give her what he believes is an impossible task, taking her to the royal library and telling her to find the legendary Book of Providence within 1 month, a grimoire said to grant omniscience, even though the library is enormous and filled with countless books, making the chances of finding a single one within that time frame nearly impossible. Despite that, Spya accepts the challenge and begins searching, although her early attempts are filled with chaos as she accidentally triggers magical traps, transforms herself, and encounters all sorts of dangerous and bizarre spells, making it seem like she won't last long. But instead of giving up, she continues returning day after day, slowly adapting, learning, and even developing a genuine interest in magic as she immerses herself in the books. As time passes, even the cat starts to notice her dedication, realizing that she's far more persistent than he expected. Although in the end, the final day arrives and she still hasn't found the book, leaving her desperate as the library closes, prompting him to finally ask why she's so determined to go this far. That's when she reveals her past, explaining that she was present during the cultist attack 2 years ago, witnessing death and destruction all around her as she believed she was going to die, until Claude suddenly appeared, saved her, and reassured her in a gentle voice, leaving such a strong impression that she decided she wanted to become like him. Someone strong enough to protect others even at the risk of their own life. Although the cat dismisses her reasoning as foolish, calling her naive, the moment is interrupted when Spya discovers hidden runes on a massive book, and after deciphering them, she unlocks a hidden passage leading to a mysterious extra-dimensional space. That moment, the cat became convinced the Book of Providence had to be inside, so Spya rushed in, and instead of a normal room, she found a breathtaking starry space, like a whole different dimension, which made it clear this was an extra-dimensional library filled with forbidden books and national-level grimoires. Then suddenly, a voice echoed through the space, and it turned out to be the Book of Providence itself, speaking directly to them, already knowing Spya's name, which immediately proved it was all-knowing, and without wasting time, it revealed the truth. The cat wasn't under a normal curse, but a karmic one that completely removed his body and left only his soul behind. Because of that, the only way to restore him was through rebirth magic, and somehow, Spya already had that power, even though she never realized it, until the book pointed out how she always healed quickly and never suffered serious injuries, making everything suddenly make sense, and at the same time, giving her hope that she could one day become a first-class mage like Claude. Meanwhile, the cat saw this as his only chance to return to normal, but the method the book suggested immediately threw everything off, because in order to transfer her magic, Spya had to kiss him, which made her panic since she wasn't willing to give away her first kiss so easily, even if the cat tried to downplay it by saying it was basically like CPR. However, things got even worse when the book clarified that it wasn't a normal kiss at all, completely killing the mood and making both of them instantly reject the idea, even though the book insisted it was the most efficient method. But before they could argue any longer, everything changed when an injured guard suddenly appeared and warned them to run, because the library was under attack, and almost immediately, a massive Orthus burst in, a dangerous beast often used by cultists, which was strange since those groups were supposed to have been wiped out 2 years ago. So they ran while dodging its fiery attacks, and although the cat told Spya to go ahead, she refused to leave him, only for him to admit he was too weak to fight in his current form, meaning the only real option left was to break the curse, even if she clearly didn't want to go through with it. Still, as she hesitated, the cat gave up on convincing her and walked away, thinking her determination was just empty words. But right after that, the Orthus caught up and launched a direct attack at Spya, putting her in a situation where she was sure she would die. And yet, at the last second, the cat stepped in front of her and blocked the attack, just like Claude would, using magic to hold back the flames before sending her away to safety while he stayed behind, which left her feeling completely helpless and frustrated at herself for not being strong enough to protect anyone. But instead of running, she turned back, pushed through the flames, and picked up the unconscious cat, finally accepting that she had no other choice, and in that desperate moment, she went through with the method she had been avoiding. Right after that, everything changed, as Claude returned to his human form, floating above as if nothing had happened, casually mentioning he hadn't had his body for 2 years before immediately taking control of the situation and casting a powerful spell, freezing the Orthus in an instant and ending the fight. As things calmed down, Spya struggled to process everything, especially the fact that this was the real Claude, who turned out to be nothing like the ideal version she had imagined. And while she complained about how different he was, she still couldn't help but think he looked just as cool as before. But then, out of nowhere, he suddenly decides to leave, saying he doesn't need her anymore. And she's not about to let that happen. She literally jumps on him, trying to stop him from going, but in the middle of all that chaos, he suddenly turns back into a cat again. Now the situation completely flips. Since he just said he didn't need her, she's like, fine, then I'm the one leaving. But of course, he immediately panics and begs her to stay, insisting that they're bound by fate. She's clearly not buying it though, and even threatens to pull his tongue out if he keeps talking like that. Meanwhile, confused and desperate for answers, Claude turns to the book and asks what just happened. And that's when the truth comes out. The reason the curse didn't fully break is because Spyka's level is still too low. Her experience bar isn't high enough yet. Basically, unless both of them reach the same level, the curse can't be completely undone, which leads to only one solution. Claude realizes he has no choice but to train Spyka himself, and not just casually, he plans to turn her into a first-class mage, just like him. Hearing that, Spyka starts to doubt herself. She wonders if she's really capable of reaching that level, but Claude, he's completely serious. No hesitation at all. And then, he drops another bombshell. From now on, she has to call him Professor. Turns out, he's actually a professor at Diana Academy. The moment Spyka hears this, her heart starts racing. The idea of being personally trained by Claude one-on-one feels almost unreal to her, like she's living in a dream.